wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is the plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all you beautiful party people. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day, as always, y'all. Welcome back. It's Monday, guys. We're almost at the end of October, moving into November, and folks, that just means we're a few months away from the Bitcoin halving. And what I want to share with y'all today is you survived the last bear market. Now, a lot of y'all may not fully understand what this actually entails and what it means, but congratulations is in order, because a lot of y'all haven't had a fully experienced chance to actually see the cycles that is crypto. And so a lot of y'all got to experience it for the first time today. What happened to my music? Where'd my music go? Play my music. Weird. Okay, cool. Well, give me 1 second while I get some music in the background. All right. So, my bad. So, a lot of y'all haven't really had a chance to experience it yet, right? And so what's pretty interesting about it is we've seen a glimpse in the Pulse Chain ecosystem of what pumps can actually look like. And a lot of the times you don't actually know you're in a bull until you get popped off because of some stupid trade or some stupid move. And so a lot of the times I don't want anyone to experience that, because we've seen it happen already, as a matter of fact, with Pulse Chain, with Hex, with PulseX, and they've already been actually pulling these up as well. So let's actually pull this up and I'll share exactly what I'm referring to on this one too. There we go. So on this one, we actually have Pulse. We have PulseX on the top left and top right. So just recently, y'all had a chance to actually see what the bull market can look like and what it can actually do. And this is in the span of, once again, a few days, folks, less than a week's time, right at 9 days to get a little 2x gain almost right there. So a lot of the people, what's funny is I was listening to a Crypto Wonder stream earlier. Shout out to Crypto Wonder as well, guys. Go like, share, subscribe, all of his content. Much love to you, Crypto Wonder podcast. But the benefit or the perk of what he was talking about and what he was mentioning was that a lot of people don't really understand that they are in a bull, or you never know you're in a bull until it throws you off, right? And I think Alan Fizame was the person who pointed this out, and it really resonated as well, because it's very true. A lot of the times people don't fully understand, because what's been happening is you get recency bias, and so you end up over here, and this is kind of what the chart could look like, where you end up over here, you think it goes down, and you're like, all right, cool, it's gone down, it kind of capitulates for a while, it goes sideways, back and forth for a while. Let me just make this screen a little bit bigger for everyone. So it goes back and forth for a while, and then it just kind of goes do-do-do, and so you think, okay, cool, we got a pump happening, and then it goes down, right? So a lot of the times what happens is people will sell right here thinking they can buy back in right here. Same exact situation happens over here, where people will sell down here and still buy up here. As crazy as that sounds, but you can do it the opposite way as well. They'll buy up here, or sell up here and try to buy back in lower. Eventually the bull market comes and it really appears, and it's fast, y'all, and I do mean fast, because we've seen what happens, a 2x pump within the span of less than a week. Now, what's interesting about this pump is a lot of the people who are buying here or selling here, my bad, and hoping to buy back in lower got absolutely left behind. And so even if you had sold right here, you still missed, in this situation, a 50% pump of what you could have seen had you just done nothing. So a lot of the times people really don't fully understand what this means, and what's clear as day is proven on the Hex chart, as a matter of fact too. You can actually go back and look at the Hex chart from the time it actually launched. Throw this on log, and so again, this is going all the way back to 2019, folks. We've seen this happen before, but let's just kind of pull up. This is the Godwell stepping in right here. This is the exact moment Godwell stepped in. So you have this moment happen where you're like, all right, cool, it's not really happening. Bull market starts showing up. 2020, we already know it led into 2021, which is the bull market. So you start seeing signs of a bull market start appearing, and you actually start seeing pumps like this happen, where you get a 4x pump in the span of 7 days or less than a week. In fact, you could actually end up going, just based on this metric alone, to do a 6.5x pump in the span of 11 days. And these folks got absolutely left behind, y'all. And I do mean left behind. Most of the time, they never got, not even at this point in time, you've never been able to see these prices again. So you can actually zoom all the way out on this one and just go all the way through of what Hex has actually done through this whole time. And yes, it actually came down to 002. So right here, 002, it got really close to coming into the God whale zone range is what we refer to. But that happened so fast and people got left behind, because what happens, we get into 2021. And even if you got in at the end of 2020, right here at the end of 2020, all the way up until about September of 2021, once again, that is roughly about 140x pump. So you just get left, y'all, and that's 291 days. So what's interesting about this is what we're seeing right now is we're seeing similar starts to what is the bull market rally, y'all. And this is just a mere glimpse of how fast it can go, because several people wanted to buy back in whenever Pulse actually dropped back down to 4 zeros and a 3. And you know what? Who knows if we're ever going to come back to those prices again? I'm not saying that the bottom's for sure in, but at this point in time, it's certainly appearing that way. We have many factors that go in our favor in this situation, such as the Bitcoin halving, such as the SEC dropping all the charges, such as the actual bull market entering, which y'all know from the Bitcoin halving is 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, or the Bitcoin halving. So within that span of time, y'all are about to be seeing a lot of pumps. In the next 2 years, y'all are going to see some crazy situations happen, even over the next 180 days. So over into the next 6 months, y'all are going to see a lot of some craziness happen. So what happens a lot of the times is you can even move back over here. Even PulseX got the similar pump as well. And you can see it actually came back down, held this level of support, which is always good, and then bounced back off. And now it's pumping back up again. So what can happen so fast is these prices may never be seen again. Now, I'm not saying that they're for sure gone, but so far, these are the local lows for what these prices are. And we haven't gone back to retest those local lows. So if this is near the bottom, this is what a great opportunity it is for you to be able to get in. Now, don't try to wait and play the game of waiting, because you can see a difference of a 30% just trying to get it back down in this zone. But even if it comes back down and has levels such as this, where it tests 40135 or 40138, you might want to have some dry powder ready if it happens to touch that level again. These are just things to prepare for, because folks, you do not know you're in a bull until you are just rocketing. And I do mean rocketing, because folks, it happens fast, where it just goes and it just shoots the F up. In fact, you can actually see it along with Bitcoin as well. So let me just kind of hide some of these other items as well. But Bitcoin has been the perfect example of kind of what can happen in the past and what can happen in the future. So if you look back at Bitcoin's first existence all the way back in 2009, 2012, you can see that this is that little pump that we're seeing right here, for example. And from this little pump that we're seeing in our ecosystem, you do get a dip. In this case, it actually got a dip of about 46%, which is about average, appropriate, where you would see a pullback. And then it just absolutely rallied over here on into the next bull market, which was the 2013 cycle, because you got 2013, 2017, 2021, and it just absolutely rallied. So over the next 2 years on this case, it did roughly about a 320x from that moment, from this moment alone. And that's only getting Bitcoin up to $1,200, y'all. And we already know that Bitcoin ended up hitting $69,000. So if you just held all the way up until here, you would have smashed. And I mean, truly smashed. So sometimes having this little short-term vision, I want y'all to understand that it's not always about the short-term vision. And this is kind of how I see it playing out, as a matter of fact, for myself. I think we are right here in this little zone where you got to see the little dip happen. In fact, you can see the dip on this one came down 93%. Whoops, you can't really see that because I'm got myself covered. So you can see on this one, the dip actually dropped down roughly about 93%. Again, if you were able to take advantage of that and buy Bitcoin when it was $2, imagine just holding on to that sucker for it to go from $2 all the way up to $1,200. That would have been an absolute smash. But again, a lot of the times people don't get the exact bottom. So I'm not expecting you to get the exact bottom on this one. In fact, I would almost rather prefer that you don't get the exact bottom. And the reason why is just because, you know, sometimes you have that moment where you think you're God or whatever, where you think you can just choose to you've understood the market psychology perfectly. So you know when the top is and you know when the bottom is, and that's arrogance, and that will get you screwed in the long run. So be careful about this. But this is kind of how I see our charts looking. As a matter of fact, if you just go look at our charts right now, tell me this doesn't look the exact same, right? We get a nice little drop right about what 93%. We get a nice little rally up, which we're starting to see already, of a 2.5x gain right there. And once again, this is kind of where I think we are in the cycle. We are drawing this up right here where we're going to go down. We're going to bounce up. Again, you can see the difference on this price was roughly about a 3.5x difference right there. You get a 40% pullback and then it just goes, y'all. And this is where we are entering right now. As a matter of fact, this is where I see us entering right now. So let me know. I want to know y'all's thoughts on this as well. I'm very curious always on this information to hear from y'all and what your thoughts are on this same exact topic. Crypto Chino, what's going on, my friend? LFG, we got Ladania Moore. How are you, my friend? Checks my pulse. What's good? Never again. Exactly. Never to see that again. Share the stream, good people. Like, share, subscribe to Crypto Wonder Podcast as well. His stream was the one that really kind of inspired me on this stream today. So shout out to you, my brother, because this is truly what I can see happening for many, many people who are actually sitting right here in this situation where they see a nice little gain, they see a pullback, and guess what we're seeing right now on all of this? Now, granted, this is a weekly chart for Bitcoin, so this little pump was roughly about 49 days to get that 3.5x, and then again, over the span of the next 42 days, it did a pullback of 46%. Well, this is kind of what we're seeing right now, y'all. We got this little pump happen, which you got to see a nice little 2.5x gain right there in the span of 41 days. And so if we end up doing a 40% pullback, which we've kind of basically done right now, we're sitting at 36 right there, if that's all it does. But if we end up doing a 40% pullback, maybe taking it all the way out to November, right before the full rally starts happening, I could see us probably bouncing here in this range for a little bit and then just absolutely take off, y'all. Just absolutely take off. This thing, when it pumps, it flies, y'all. And I truly mean flies. Anyone who was in Hex back here on this day understands how fast this can fly, because this pump alone all the way back in 2021, had you been in just anywhere starting in the 2021 range, whether it's the beginning, whether it's toward the middle, you absolutely smash, y'all. That is a 32x gain right there, just pulling it from the exact middle of April of 2021. So we're entering this bull market zone right here. You can look at all of the different charts. In this situation, I'm pulling up Bitcoin because it's a very good example of what we're kind of seeing and how fast pumps can move. Because, guys, this thing will absolutely smash and tear through every little bit that it can at this point in time. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, no kidding, my friend, no kidding. Let me pull this up again. Crypto Khalil says, yeah, in relation to your short-term or long-term vision comment, I've been trying to get people to grasp how long-term bullish things are, like the tokenomics of PulseX. Eventually, mostly burnt out. Yeah, so the tokenomics is absolutely incredible. And unfortunately, what I found whenever I first discovered Hex myself was I had a tough time to explain to others the same level of excitement and understanding that I could grasp, because for them, they can't see further than 6 months, y'all. And so if you're like, dude, you can hold this token, you can stake it for 2 years, 5 years, 15 years, like, I never want to hold something for 15 years. As silly as that is, but then they'll go invest in 401ks and other shit that they can't even touch for 40 plus years. So it's just funny to me how people sometimes go that route, and it's all about perception, and it's how it's perceived through the media of how crypto is. So what I learned is I stopped chasing after those particular individuals, people who I had to try to like give every little bit of ounce of energy and knowledge that I had to try to share with them so they could either grasp it themselves or either just have the ability to make the decision themselves. It became a whole situation where I couldn't I couldn't keep going through and explaining it and spending hours, and I mean hours, because if you have someone who's in crypto, it's very easy to be like, hey man, you can go buy this on a DEX, you can hold it over here, stake it in your own wallet. Fairly simple to those people who may have at least some understanding of a decentralized world. If you are talking to some people, whether it be friends, family, or other people who are not in the crypto sphere like you are, you end up explaining so much. You got to explain how to store seed phrase properly. You got to explain what is an actual decentralized or self-custodial wallet. You have to explain how to connect to different networks, how to buy on a SEX, how to send it to a DEX, how to do all these different situations. And you're like, if you mess up any of that, then it falls back on me, I feel like, as a teacher. And so I gave up on like someone who just doesn't have a grasp of crypto. I want them to learn, but I don't think our products are going to be the best for them to learn. Now I say that in jest. Let me go back and just clarify something real fast. I had so many people who were in all the meme coins back in 2020 and 2021. And I mean the hype, the cycle, the phrase, the craze, all of it. They were just eating it up. And that's how you also know when the top's in. Whenever those people who you're explaining about with the tokenomics and how it all works right now and what it's going to do in the future, those are the same people who end up hitting you up during the top of the bull market, who didn't get in when you were talking about it, but they got in at the top. And now they're talking about the newest meme coin that's out there. And usually that's a pretty good indicator that you're nearing the top, to be fair. So keep that in mind. Like always keep those little records in mind. If you start seeing people screenshot all the stuff and portfolios and balances and that kind of stuff, cool. What we're going to see happen, and we haven't seen it happen yet, is people will absolutely get the FOMO, y'all. And I truly do mean get the FOMO, because just like we saw in every other crypto asset and prior to, during the 2020-2021 cycle, they absolutely smashed, y'all. And I mean smashed on just random stuff. You could basically throw a dart at a wall and you could make profit. That's what a bull market brings, where you don't have to make always the right decision, but in order to prosper in the long term, you better start making better choices that affect the long-term game and the long-term play. It's not about this whole like, let's get in, let's get out, let's flip this, let's sell this, let's profit here, let's sell, let's buy, and you play this little game trading back and forth. I got wrecked on Cardano doing that, y'all. To be fair, like, I don't know if I've ever shared this on the channel before, but let me just kind of pull up what Cardano did whenever it just like smashed, y'all, and I truly do mean smash. So this is Cardano right here. Let me go, whoops, share this screen. Cool. So this is Cardano. Cardano is absolutely smashed. This is a weekly record as well, and so you can see this is kind of like the world that I was playing in back in 2019 before I discovered Hex. I would find Cardano around 2 cents. I would sell it around 5 cents. I would buy back in around 3 cents. I would sell it at 9 cents. I would buy back in down here at this level of 4 cents. I would sell. I would buy. I would sell. And eventually got to the point to where I didn't buy on this particular one. And then from there, let me just explain. It went off and did an absolute tear of 167x. in the span of 500 days. Now, where did I buy back in at? Well, I bought back in up here because I had FOMO, y'all. Like I bought, I traded, I bought, I traded, I bought, I traded. There were good trades, there were bad trades, there were all sorts of different stuff. Eventually it got to the point where I FOMO because I was like, you know what? This is going crazy. And then guess what it did? It dropped 50% value in the span of 56 days. Then I was like, well, I'll just sell back and buy back in lower if it's going to go back down to a penny. You know how stupid that is to be thinking that? Because I didn't understand, y'all. I didn't get it. I couldn't grasp it. I had no clue as to what was going to happen. And then from there, it went off and did a nasty 34x. That guess what? I didn't get to see. Now, fortunately for me, this was right around the time where I discovered Hex. So I did sell out of my positions back then, and I closed out many other items to get into Hex. And from there, Hex went off and just basically, y'all saw it a second ago, if we pull it up from 2021, from early 2021, anywhere in this little range, this is around the time where I was getting in, around the penny zone, y'all. And so anyone getting in at these prices are getting a better deal than I got whenever I was super stoked to get in back then. But let's just assume I chose this particular day to actually go in. Even holding that particular number right there was still a 36x. So did I miss out? No. But did I screw myself over by playing this game with Cardano? Absolutely. Absolutely, y'all. Screwed myself many times. And this wasn't the only trade I was doing. If y'all think that's anyone who's trading is not just trading one token, let's just be fair. They are in all sorts of different degenerate behaviors that you can possibly be in, because that's just how it goes. So for me, what I learned through that lesson was shit. Don't mess around with the whole trading. Don't try to time this market. Don't try to make this play of making this happen instead, where you see this little move where you're like, all right, cool, I'll sell here and buy back in lower. You can get absolutely left in the dust, just like this happens, where it just goes boosh. Even this little span was 150 days, was a 19x, y'all. 19x in the span of 150 days, less than 6 months time. And this is what I can see happening. This exact same little chart set up right here that's kind of pulling everything up. This is an 8x that was cool. You made some profit. Did you sell the bottom, or did you buy the exact bottom? Probably not, because you thought it was going to go lower. Did you sell the exact top? Probably not, because you thought it was going to go higher. Same exact thing happens time and time and time again, y'all. And so I share this story with everyone because I feel like it's important to understand that's kind of what we're seeing happen, right? The setup is actually happening right now. The setup is doing exactly what it's done in the past, y'all. It literally is saying, hey, man, the bull is here. And you don't fully understand what that means until you just get left behind or get bucked off the bull, you know? And so, we got a delivery earlier. Oh, you grabbing it? We got a delivery earlier. Oh, okay, cool. You want to put suitcases up? All right, love you. My bad, y'all. Where was I? All right, cool. So yeah, you get absolutely left, y'all. And I truly, like, I've seen this happen. It's the same story over and over and over again. And that's how you know we've entered the bull, because you see a move like this where you get a nice, even this time, if you had bought the exact bottom, a nice little 2.5x the money in 40 days. Congratulations, y'all. You got to get a glimpse of what a bull market can do, because a bull market will absolutely smash these numbers, y'all. Smash. The little 2x pump, 3x pump are nothing in the span of a bull. And I truly do mean that, because we have entered that zone right now. We're 6 months prior to the Bitcoin happening, less than 6 months, actually, to be fair, probably 5 at this point in time, because I mean, hell, we're almost in November. So I think the Bitcoin halving is on April 13th of 2024. So plan accordingly. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those situations that can really hype up some stuff. You got the big news of more mainstream companies coming through to fund all that items. And basically it's a capital flow is happening right now. As a matter of fact, it's money is going from the fiat world, or capital flight is happening. Money's going from the fiat world into the crypto world. And then from there, we're getting this happening right here, where capital flight is actually taking place from Ethereum to Pulse Chain. And you can see it by the bridge numbers here itself. You have 96 million that have been bridged into Pulse Chain, and only 3 million have been bridged out. If I'm not mistaken, that's a difference of around 30x. I'm not going to do the exact math, but that's a difference of 30x, y'all. Meaning people prefer to stay and remain on Pulse Chain. They're moving from Ethereum, and once they find that the fees are faster, that the fees are cheaper, that the transactions are faster, that you can do certain things just in a very quick manner, it's efficient, everything is just easier to use. You can use the same wallet that you've been using. You just got to connect to a different network, and probably even have all your coins duplicated over there as well, by the way. You can see all this happen. And so for this, it's proven that capital flight is a real thing, y'all. It's moving from Ethereum to Pulse Chain, and we're seeing this as it's happening, and y'all are kind of getting the experience of riding the bull wave. So I want y'all to all keep that in mind, because this is what's happening right now, folks. It is the mindset that is actually going on, as a matter of fact. People definitely will look at you crazy, Crypto Khalil. It's gonna happen, my friend. It's gonna happen. Like, if you come at somebody with just so much excitement, and if you're like me, unfortunately, I'll take some hits on this for sure, I'm guessing. But if you're like me and you've done other things in the past because you've always had the mindset of retiring early, you've always had the mindset of finding a way to supplement additional income. You find a way to search for additional stuff without having to work all the time. You want to make passive income, and so that's probably how you stumbled upon here. But before you stumbled upon our ecosystem for Pulse Chain, you've most likely done other stuff as well. In fact, I've done stuff like network marketing before. And so if you come at certain people so many times from different standpoints and like, this is it, they're like, all right, man, it's the boy who cried wolf story. You know what I mean? It's the same situation that happens over and over and over. And for some people, they're willing to continue to take the risk because you're like, you know what? You're my boy. I'm going to go down with you. And it is what it is, ride or die. And that's cool. You need some of those folks with you. But then eventually you end up just pushing people away from them being able to even listen, because none of your other stuff that you've done in the past, you've either stopped doing, so you stopped committing it to, and they've got left behind, or you ended up forgetting about it and moving on to something else, trying to move on to the next thing. So don't think that people are looking at you crazy just because you happen to be talking about crypto for the first time with them. Most of the time it comes down to what happened in the past with other experiences that you've shared with them. Because if you share with someone and they have a good experience, they're more likely to tag along with you the next time, right? And so that's kind of how we are able to get a lot of people in on Hex, because you see the FOMO happening. We were doubling every 40 days back then. So you could literally just be like, bro, my money's doubled, it's doubled, it's doubled. Damn near every single month, my money's doubled, and it's doubled, and it's doubled. Let me in, let me let you in. Come on, join the ride. Let's have some fun. Let's rock it together. And then they get in, and then they see the money double and double and double. And so you see that happen, right? They get to experience that with you. And that leads to conviction. That conviction is what is going to be the one that pushes you to the end of the finish line. Because without the conviction, without the testament of yourself to say, I will do this, and you commit to it, and you actually stand by those words, and you go do it, then it's all just hearsay. You know what I mean? You could be like, bro, this is the next 100x. Get in now. Prices are cheap. This is never going to see these prices again. You could sell them every single way, shape, and form. And because of what's happened in the past, or their own personal previous experiences as well, maybe they had a buddy who told them about NFTs. They got in on NFTs. They lost all their money. Any of those situations are always possible. So don't think that people are just looking at you crazy. It's just a whole situation of many previous experiences that have led them to give you that look. And so sometimes you got to go through, and if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, find out what it is that caused them the pain. Hey man, have you ever tried something in the past that it just didn't work out? Like, talk to me about it. How'd it go? What happened? Right? Get to actually talk with them folks. Like, get to know them instead of just being like, look, man, take my product, look. And if you continue to just push that on people's face, they're like, bro, back up, man. I'm good. I'm done. I don't want any of it. I'm good. Right. And so get to understand why they're feeling that way, why they're actually giving you some sort of crazy look. You know what I mean? That will help you give a better understanding of exactly what's going to go on. Folks, y'all survived the bear market. That was a brutal bear market. Let's just be as clear as possible about that. That was brutal, y'all. Absolutely freaking brutal. Okay. So what's interesting to understand about that same exact thing is, even if you just break it down from Bitcoin's top in this situation to where we are now, it's really only had its 378 days from the local high, or the all-time high, to the local low of $15,000. So that only really took 300 days. But for the most part, it doesn't really kick off for Bitcoin just quite yet. And so you can actually go back, and I have it drawn out, as a matter of fact, that just kind of shows all the previous times that we've actually experienced some Bitcoin pumps. You know what I mean? And what we're noticing, by the way, y'all, is these Bitcoin pumps are getting longer and longer and longer. So you can see the first pump, 3,200x or 32,000x. Nope, I said it right. 3,200. Then you get 600x, 122x, 22x, and around 4.4. Eventually, this is going to become a very stagnant system where you get maybe a 2x pump, or maybe you get a 1x pump. You know, maybe you get a 50% increase in your bag. That's still better than the actual stock market can perform, because right now you get roughly anywhere between 6% to 10% in a year. So if you're breaking more than that, then congrats. But you have to have the ability to handle some volatility. So what we're noticing just right from the jump is we're seeing the bull markets actually go longer. And so I have this broken down because I shared this little item. These are showing top dates of where we're seeing the Bitcoin happening, because this is actually what's been going on. So I'm anticipating that we go into 2026 for the Bitcoin top, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about right now. It's right now, y'all have experienced the end of the bear, right? And now y'all are just starting to see a glimpse of the bull. So please do not leave yourself behind trying to either wait for a better price, either procrastinate and not take any action at all. Because even if you buy right now, guys, like look at this Pulse X right here. This is Pulse X. Even if you were to buy right now, just going back up to the previous SAC price, that is a 5x gain from where you are right now. Do you see Pulse X at least reaching the previous SAC price? If you say yes, then you're at least looking at a 5x your money in the span of however long it may take, whether it's 180 days or whether it's 300 days. I just see it happening so much faster than anyone can possibly imagine. We've seen what happens with the pump, and not only Hex, but also the other rest of the ecosystem, right? So if we actually were to break this down on Hex, for example, and go over here, this is the Hex pump of when it actually went on. It just smashed, y'all. Look at this. In the span of, like I said, 10 days, it did a 4.2x. 10 days, 4.2x. Guys, don't get left behind trying to like make this the perfect opportunity. If you bought here, congrats. You did good. Even from here, you still got, whoops, I don't know why I couldn't look at that right there. You still got a nice little 3.5x almost right there. Don't wait to buy at these prices, because these prices may never be seen again, folks. And I truly do mean that when I say that. I'm not saying that in jest. I'm saying that in reality, because when the bull market hits, just like we've seen Bitcoin, just like we've seen all these other items. Now, Bitcoin did its anomaly for the first time. It broke below its previous all-time high. I'm sorry, it's previous. Yeah, I said that right. And so right now we're just kind of seeing, okay, well, that's Hex first bear cycle, which also happened to come at one of the most crazy monetary times in the world. You got wars happening, you have inflation rising out the wazoo. I looked at rates on houses the other day for S's and G's, and I was like, bro, let me just take a little gander and see what a $700,000 house looks like with an 8.2% rate. Folks, that is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, because the price in that payment ended up being like damn near $8,000. And that just, like, I don't even, like, what are you doing buying? Like, now's not the time to buy a house. Let's just keep that real. Unless you're paying cash, now's not the time to be buying a house, right? Keep holding on for a few more years. If you haven't bought already, there's no rush. Let's just say that. There's no rush to try to fast find a way to a house, y'all. Hang out for another couple of years. Keep doing what you've done. Rent for another couple. Because when the bull cycle hits this year or next year, and that really is going to start the whole trend going up into 2025, possibly even going into 2026, we get to experience that same thing as well. So get ready for it, folks, because it is happening right around the corner. We got Crypto Jake in the house saying, smash the like and subscribe button, my friend. Thank you so much. Adam Chadwick, much love to you, my boy. Crypto up movement seems a lot faster than down movements when they happen. Yeah, I mean, neither here. Well, so our system in general for Hex, for Pulse Chain, for Pulse X, for all those, they have a lower liquidity. So it just allows it to really pump and dump also at the same time, but pump incredibly fast, y'all. And I really do mean incredibly fast, because I've seen this happen in the span of 30 days at 10x in the Hex ecosystem. And I could easily see the same thing happening again for all of the RH ecosystem, not just Hex, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X. I could see a month where we end up getting a 10x in a month. Are you going to be involved in it at that point in time? Or were you fucking around doing some little lollygag nonsense trading, going back and forth, trying to sell and buy and sell and buy and sell and buy? It's not the time to be playing those games, man. Congrats if you can build up a bigger bag, and yeah, it's going to work for a little bit. It works until it doesn't. Let's just say it like that. It works until it doesn't, and you could be the best trader ever. And if a whale wants to step in, like we saw with Hex, for example, and they come through and they want to pump the price, they can truly come through and pump the price, y'all. Like, they can come in here and just go boom and just absolutely launch. Folks, these are candles. This candle alone, right? If you just look at it, this one candle alone from, whoops. Yeah, these little candles, all 30% candles right here. I mean, that's a 2.5x almost right there in the span of 3 days. Guys, it happens fast. And when it takes off, it just goes. So right now we're going to have some sellers, sure. They're going to come through. They're going to have some weak hands. They're not going to be able to withstand everything because they haven't had a chance. Not only have they not had a chance to experience a bull market, but they're also thinking that, oh my God, this is possibly going to be as high as it goes for the next year. So they sell. And then from there, it goes off and does a 10x. So congrats on the sell. You did a nice little 3.5, 4.5x move. Congrats. That's good. But you missed out on the extra 10x, making your gain could have been 40x had you just stayed in. So I want to share that with everyone because, folks, we are entering the bull cycle. Just finished Wonder Stream. Hope y'all are well today. God bless. Godfather J6, absolutely. Crypto is a mindset game, 100%. Brown conservative capitalists. People need to want to learn, and they need to want to be self-starters. We can't hold everybody's hands. Facts. Like upon entry, folks. Go hard yourself. Thank you. We got Brown conservative capitalists saying once again, sometimes you have to leave the normies behind. Yeah, let them come to you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I realize in the game that, what's up, Ember? I realize in the game that I'm not chasing, man. Like, I'm not about to chase somebody and to get into the ecosystem. I'll let them know what I'm doing and how I have some investments in crypto if they ask. But that's as far as I dive into the conversation now. Before, if someone wants to ask me, what are you doing with your money and blah, I would just go fucking ham. And I would spend all the time I could to explain to them, to make sure they understood. Are you familiar with this and this and that? That's a losing battle, y'all. And what I realized was so much easier is if you just keep doing what you're doing and you just say either a brief little word and say, hey, man, I got some of my investments in crypto and they're doing great and I have other investments in other things. If they want information, they will ask you for more information. Or a lot of times they'll be like, I'm in crypto too. I got Shiba and I got Doge. And you're like, yeah, buddy, good job. You know what I mean? I'm not about to shit on them for having that because that's what they believe in. Congrats. They're in, you know what I mean? Like, they got the foot in the door, and if they want to dive down the rabbit hole and go further, cool, I'm welcome. I'll jump down the rabbit hole with you as well. But if they aren't willing to take that jump, nah. If they hold all their money on a sex, nah. Not trying to save everyone in this situation, you can't. Everyone who wants to get saved continues to search for the save. And what we found when you find this ecosystem is you found it, my friends. You've got Hex, you've got Pulse Chain, you've got Pulse X. 167X. I'm telling you, man, it happens. It happens as well. I got wrecked on Cardano even without trading. That's funny, man. That's funny. All right, ecosystem taking the biggest bubbles today again so far. That's awesome, man. Buy, hold, and sit your ass down. Twin fam, this is the strategy. If at the end of the day you do nothing but do what we've talked about, which is buy Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Hex on either network, both networks, if you really want to feel good about it. So you have the 4 pillars for the next 12 to 18 months after the Pulse Chain launch. So we have now May of 2023 to start. And we want to buy until May of 2024 at minimum, folks. Minimum. Because, yeah, you could see a 20x gain on that money from now, but if you stop investing at that point in time and you miss the last 6 months, you end up in a situation where, and I don't know how exactly accurate this plays in to the crypto side of things. It's something I probably should do a little bit of time and research, but maybe your friend Sami can help us out on this one. So the potential cost of trying to time the stock market, and this is very true, folks. Bad timing can take a bite out of your returns. Below shows the risk of trying to time the market. By simply missing out on the 10 best days in the S&P 500 for the last 20 years, you can see you can see the difference in what they had done. If all you had done was invest every single day and not try to play the game, not try to play the system, not try to do anything crazy, you just simply buy, hold, and you're always invested, meaning you're not selling out, you're not closing positions, everything is just a buy and hold situation. That $10,000 would then be $64,000 in the span of 20 years. That's a long freaking time, guys. Let's be real. I'm not about to try to do that for what, a 5x, not even a 5, yeah, a little over a 5x gain. Come on, man. 20 years for we saw freaking a 5x damn near in the span of 10 days. You're telling me you got to wait 20 years in the stock market? That's neither here nor there. The purpose of this is just by missing the best 10 days, the 10 best days, you took your average of what was 64 all the way down to $30,000. By missing the 20 best days, it went to 17. By missing the 30 best days, you were barely break even, folks. You're sitting at $11,000 on your $10,000 for 20 years. If you missed the 40 best days, you were actually underwater now at this point in time. Your 10,000 is worth less than you actually initially invested, and it's 20 years later, folks. If you go miss the 50, 60 best days, you lose half of your investment, damn near. Investment returns are 93% lower if the 60 best days are missed, because that is, look at this. It goes from 64,000 all the way down to 4,200. Now, this same rule can be stated in crypto, folks. Same exact thing. It's going to play out a hell of a lot faster. It's not going to take 20 years for you to be able to see it. But by missing on certain days, you are losing money, y'all. Just by not being in on certain days. That's how I feel with hex stakes, as a matter of fact. To anyone who has their hex stakes, they fully understand this same concept. Because if you are not staked in hex and there's a early end stake penalty where someone ends their stake early and actually commits to end it early, well, then you miss out on that payday that year. And what's crazy, or not that year, that day, you miss out on the payout that day. And what's crazy is on the Ethereum side, you can actually see the payout per T-share, folks. There are 10 best days right here where you have 24, and if you weren't staked on this day, you did not get this additional hex payout. That was on November 21st of 2021. This is 13 hex per T-share, 12 hex per T-share. Hell, even recently on 10/22, you had 9.64 hex per T-share. This absolutely crushes the returns that you're going to make on your hex stakes just by being staked that day. You didn't have to do anything crazy just by being staked. And guess what? You can see the same thing happen on the Pulse Chain side as well, y'all. You can see the exact same thing happen over here on the Pulse Chain side for the hex stakes that are happening over there. And so when y'all look at this kind of stuff, it does play into the same similar role that I say, okay, cool. These people, by not having your hex staked, are going to miss out on these days where we get paid 9 hex per T-share. 7 hex per T-share, 10 hex per T-share. They miss out just instantly. So I really do want to share that with y'all because, guys, this is the time. It's really coming through. JL, ATX, you're a true Hexkin. Salute to you, my friend. Facts, ATX Crypto is a legend. Thanks, my guys. Ink is part of my passive income. It's a great passive income strategy to have. I'm a big believer in the Ink system. I'm a big believer in the tokenomics of the Ink system. And I think it's really going to shine in the bull cycle. So congrats. I'm a big fan of the Ink as well. ATX, how can I find the amount of DAI, USDT, or USDC in the Pulse ecosystem? Reason being, I played with cash out balances with DAI, and it didn't seem like there was enough to withstand large cash outs. Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, there's more than enough in all reality. If you just want to go, I mean, the best way to do it sometimes is to just type in on PulseX and really see what the best way is for the strategy. You can, of course, look at the bridge, and it will tell you how much money is in there. So you can come over to the bridge. Whoops, I forgot to share the screen. Cool. So you can come over to the bridge right here and see that there's been 32 million DAI, 21 million USDC, and 11 million USDT. So in this situation, it looks like DAI is going to be your biggest pool. So if you're wanting to cash out, most likely going to be your best bet going that route. you can then go to the actual PulseX ecosystem. This will make a whole lot more sense as we actually progress further into the future. But let's just say, for example, you had some Pulse and you wanted to actually end up selling, I don't know, I'm just going to type in like 6 billion or something like that, right? Something crazy. Now, right away, you're going to notice this thing can damn near handle a 6 billion Pulse sell right now. So that's $354,000. And you have some slippage by selling this large amount right here of 337,000. You can scroll on down and you can see it's going to have a price impact of about 4.6%. So you are going to incur some slippage. How do you avoid slippage, my friends? Well, you do the same transaction but broken down into 6 transactions. So in this situation, instead of losing almost $20,000, you can actually do 1 billion sell here, which you would only lose in this situation $500, and you do this 9 times. So instead of losing $20,000, you can actually end up losing $4,500, something like that. And you can break down the transactions even further as well to avoid even more slippage, because even this has a 1% price impact on it as well. Ideally, you would want to find a good sweet spot that you can cash out an appropriate amount, whether it's 500 million at a time. I think this is a great job where you end up accruing this little number. It's a difference of about $200 on these two numbers right here. So as the price goes down, you can just keep on going through. So you would sell 500 million, 500 million. You do this 12 times in total, and you get a difference in this situation. Instead of losing $20,000 or even $4,500, you end up only losing roughly about $2,400 because of the price impact. So the way slippage works is you just want to do it. You don't want to like cash out position all in all and just set yourself up in that route, because again, there's no point in doing that kind of disservice for yourself because of being impatient for completing 12 transactions. Get out of here, man. You're going to cost yourself $20,000 because you can't complete freaking 12 transactions. Like, be real with yourself. Get smart with this, y'all. Understand how it works. If you are wanting to cash out large sums of money, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can provide liquidity and go that route. So you can actually earn fees, you can cash out, and it works all in all. You can do other situations as well, where you set limit orders in the future. You can do other situations as well, where you just do multiple sell orders in this situation, so you don't have to incur a 5% slippage. You can do 12 transactions and only accrue maybe a 2% slippage. You know what I mean? And so you do this enough times and it just makes so much more sense. But guys, you find a good number that's going to work comfortable for you to be able to actually cash out. You do not just cash out. I mean, you can do whatever the heck you want. Let's just be real. If you want to cause yourself a freaking 50% slippage because, I don't know, you're crazy, be my guest. You know what I mean? Like, if this is you and you're sitting on 100 billion pulse and you're like, man, I need this money right now. I don't want to do 10 transactions or 12 transactions or 20 transactions. I just want to screw it and forget about it. I'm out. So you sell 100 billion, what was worth $6 million, you only end up getting 3.3 million. Like, if you even get that much, but it can handle that. It can handle that kind of slippage. It's just like you're just going to pay for it. So yeah, don't screw yourself over like that, guys. I mean, I don't know. Do I have to explain that? I feel bad if you don't understand how that works, but that's how you cash out if you're wanting to do larger cash out positions. You don't just sell it all in one transaction. You can be my guest, be gone, lose all the money, incur the slippage. If this is your first time ever taking out a large sum of cash like that, though, typically I recommend 2 different things. One, I recommend doing smaller transactions so you again test it out so you can actually get familiar with how it all works, how it all is, and how it actually ends up happening. And then 2, when you send it to a centralized exchange, because ideally you're cashing out to actually convert it into fiat so you can go live the life that you want. So you convert it into fiat. You don't just send it all in one lump sum. If you've never sent 10,000 or more to a centralized exchange, you might want to send over some money first so you can at least understand how it works. Make sure they can handle that kind of nonsense, because I've seen it happen where people go to cash out and they get in a hurry and they're so used to copy pasting certain addresses that they just cash out. They send, I don't know, we'll say $50,000 in this example to a completely different wallet, and it's gone forever, never to be seen again. That can't be accessed by you because you sent it somewhere like a contract address, for example. Like, I've seen that happen, y'all. And once things are sent on the blockchain, shit's gone. Like, it's gone. So do a couple of test transactions converting from fiat or converting from crypto into fiat. Do a couple of test transactions exchanging or withdrawing large amount of money. Like, don't screw yourself over, guys. You get a simple opportunity. It's on gopulse.com. There you go. What's up, everyone? How you doing, my friend? So am I hearing a 30x long on Hex? LOL. Let's go leverage. Lol, Fizz, man. That's funny, man. For real. Out A fam, of course. Check my pulse, saying hello back and forth, y'all. For example, 1 billion pulse on PulseX equates to approximately 58,000, but only 52,000 of DAI. 10 billion equates to 587, but only 269,000 in DAI value. I feel retarded. Don't feel retarded, my friend. Just understand slippage. That's all it is. You're looking at slippage right there. Slippage is exactly what we just discussed on this stream. It's something that happens irregardless of whatever crypto that you're holding, because yeah, it can hold millions of dollars. In fact, you can actually go see what's inside certain pools by going inside the info, tab on PulseX, and then going and looking at more information like TVL and all that good stuff. But ideally, you can just look at slippage and know right away which route you're going with. But yeah, you can always look at liquidity if you're really wanting to find out that information. Just go to app.pulsex.com/info, and you're going to be able to get a fun little page that'll give you all the information as to how much liquidity is actually in the pool. What's up, Academaciated? How you doing, friends? This is the top of the housing market. You'd be crazy to buy right now. Facts, dude. Hey, man, teach their own, for real. Like, at the end of the day, if this is the time that you decide that's life for you to be able to have, or for you to be able to, have everything play out that way, then just understand what you're getting at the same time. That's all it is. You got. This is what I was talking about with the PulseX. You can go over here to the 3 dots, go to info, and you can actually scroll down. You can see liquidity in here. So a lot of liquidity is going to be tied through Pulse. Another thing that you may have forgot about is on the settings widget over on here, you can turn on auto router, and you actually want to have that turned on. If you're, I'd say just if you want, just any transaction you want to do, because it's going to search for the best transaction for you. Okay. So you can actually find out right away what the best transaction will be just by going through here and turning on auto router. That's another thing that you might be experiencing. If you don't have auto router turned on, what you end up happening is it ends up having to pull from either a V1 pool or a V2 pool, and you basically force it to choose which pool you're in. And I don't advise doing that. Just turn on auto router and it'll search through all the different pairs and liquidity in all the different pools to give you the best order execution for your order. So that's another thing you might be noticing. You can see liquidity over here on the side. We can sort it through liquidity. So you can see even DAI has 8.35 million in liquidity, would be the most would be in DAI. USDC is sitting on 3.4, so almost 3 times as much liquidity. But again, this is also paired. That's just like liquidity in here. This thing is paired with all the different pools, all the different tokens, all these different you have liquidity between all of these different plays, okay? So it's a mixture of it all. I just want to be very clear with you on that. But yes, turn on auto router. Make sure you have it set up so you can actually get the best order execution as well. And if anyone's wondering, this is my little DCA wallet, so I don't really care showing it because I find it's a fun little Pulse challenge. And so far, since September 15th, little less than 6 weeks ago, I've been able to accrue almost 19 million PulseX just putting in $5 a day, folks. $5 a day will get this for you. I'm not making this difficult. I'm not making it hard. I buy whether the price is high, whether it's low, or what's going on. And you can join me as well in the Pulse Challenge. Hashtag Pulse Challenge. If you're joining me along for the journey, I want anyone who's watching this video to put Pulse Challenge in the comments and in the chat. Let me know. I enjoy this Pulse Challenge, and it's definitely a way to win because we are going to do this for the first 12 months, y'all. Like, come on, man. You got to understand this is not like you get in right now and you just hold what you're holding and then you stop. That's silly. There's a full long marathon road ahead. What are we talking about? We're only 6 miles into a marathon that's 26 miles. I've used this reference so many times, but folks, we're still looking at 20 more months before really it gets near the top. And we're going to be evaluating it along the way as well, so just keep that in mind. Try to tell friends and family about the opportunity. No one will listen. No interest in crypto right now. Oh, well, can't save them all. Exactly. And your first 7 years of a 30-year loan is mostly interest. Ugh, that's ugly. That's so ugly. Just save yourself if no one will listen. Exactly. And, you know, we all know what happens. They think you're mad, and then when you're buying in the red, but those who do are the real winners. And that is facts on facts on facts. Chiz 5555. I hope y'all are still got a stake that goes out to 5555 as well, guys. Like, this is not the time to be ending those stakes early. It's not. Set up one that goes long. Have you enabled auto routing? Exactly. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I literally just pointed that out as well, JL. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, saying hello to everyone, all the lovely individuals. No, I haven't. Perfect. Well, that's how you do it right there. You definitely want to make sure that the auto router is turned on. I just gave y'all a little showcase as to how to do it. ATX, in your opinion, what's the best stablecoin to hold liquid? I don't know. Really, any of the stablecoins, man. In all reality, I don't like any. Like, stablecoins in general aren't really for crypto, but since they're in crypto, I think the main ones that you hear, DAI, USDC, USDT are good. You got the Coast stablecoin. You're gonna have more stablecoins coming soon with LUSD and PXCD or SD or whatever the Power City stablecoin is. I don't think there's like a main contender for this particular situation, you know, to be fair. I don't want to steer you wrong and like say something that ends up kind of like going off what you're doing, but kind of what I'm thinking. Man, I gotta figure out something real quick. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out. My dog's trying to get under my desk right now, and he's getting a little bit caught up in the wire. Anyways, because I got a little. Anyways, hopefully that answered the question. Urban Productions. Try it out. Also, big buy and sells move the price, so you might eat some slippage. 100%. We got the aubergines all day in here. Hello, Cookie de Chocolate. Hello, hello, hello. I see I'm quite late again. How are you doing? We're doing good, Cookie. Slippage is wild. Then after a certain amount, good to know. Thanks, ATX and everyone. Johnny's, much love for sharing the information with you as well. Great question. It's good for everyone to understand, too. There is no dumb question. Like, several people are different levels in their journey to crypto. And so what may seem like a silly question to you could help someone on their journey as well. So ask the questions, y'all. Like, be sure to ask, because that's how we win. Very well put. Thank you. Just bought more e-hacks. It feels great. Everything is still so cheap. Imagine 2 years from now. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Not many talk of selling. Well, there you go, Jason Smith. Yes. Hello, everybody. Yep. Seeing people send millions to the USDC address. Womp womp. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Alan. It sucks, man. But like I've had a buddy who did this exact same situation and lost probably about 30K. Oof. That sucks, right? That would suck. I feel like that would really suck. Now, money can always be made up again, and he's made whole, but still sucks. He lost the money. It's gone. Delicious Cookie. And that's one of the things. Don't stop if you end up making a mistake like that. Keep on going. If you're cashing out millions, send 100 to 10 times. Yeah. Send 100,000 10 times. Correct. ATX, that sweatshirt is tight. Appreciate that, my friend. Don't feel retarded. Be retarded. People are just now starting to get evicted from the vid. Oh, there. What's up? Yeah, Christmas tree in the house. Yes, sir. Emmett, how you doing, my man? LMAO, Pulse Challenge. Absolutely, JL. Thank you so much. Check my Pulse Challenge. Let's go. Dude, everyone who's doing the Pulse Challenge, congrats, man. Get used to winning, folks. You're gonna not only lower your average, because like say you bought Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Hex all the time back in the previous highs, and you do the Pulse Challenge, you lower your DCA average entry so much. So congrats to everyone participating in the Pulse Challenge. What's up, ATX, my brother? How you doing? Apprehensively. Yep. Pulse Nation Yacht Party 2025. Facts. Hey, ATX, what size bags would you recommend the noobs coming in? As big as you can get, man. Keep on stacking. Now's not the time. Dude, if you can get to a certain bag size with, again, 1 or 2 purchases, think bigger. You know what I mean? Like, I know you can get to a certain level that some people are like, get to 100 million, and then you can get to 100 million in a purchase. Cool. Congrats. But like, to me, that's not the way I like to do it, because That's a $1,700 purchase right now in Pulse Chain or in Pulse X, for example, to get to 100 million. Now that's a great number to start, but if you can do that in a single purchase, you gotta send that sucker out longer, right? Envision yourself DCAing for the next 6 months at minimum, and then what bag size will you have at that point in time? If you can do 1,700 a month now, what happens if you can do 1,700 a month next month? And what happens if you can do 1,700 a month next month? And what happens if you can only do 200 a month the month after that? You've built yourself such a massive amount of quantity of tokens that by the time it reaches 2025, you are so happy and you're given options. And that's what it's all about. So the biggest bag size you can get, man, because that's all that matters. 50 cent hacks will be life-changing. Can't wait. Even imagine 5-10 years from now. I'm the same way. Atlantean, how you doing, my love? Crypto Gains Club 369, what up with it? Guys, it's been an absolute blast. I wanted to share this information because the bull cycle looks like it's starting right now at this point in time, and we are wrapping up at this point in time. If y'all have anything in the future y'all want to share with me, feel free to share in the comments down below, and I absolutely love every single one of y'all. Enjoy your day, and talk to you soon.